in the bacon, fart, in the bacon, fart, all tastes like bacon, fart, and it all tastes like bacon, in the bacon, in the bacon, fart, in the bacon, fart, all tastes like bacon, and then you put all tastes like bacon. The mince.
Why are you putting mince?
Because then you've got the girth. That's what you're not getting. That's what you're not getting, Sam. This is what I mean. You've got the That's what you're not getting. That's what you're not getting, Sam. This is what I mean.
Hello. How are we all doing? My beautiful hoons, my gorgeous queechlings. I'm back. Woo! How are we all doing? It's Wednesday evening. It is about 4,000 degrees. I am burning. How are you? How has your day been? I didn't really get to ask how you all were properly before on Loki's stream, because you know what he's like. He's like a force of nature, isn't he? You bastard. You bastard. Who have we got in? Who have we got in? We've got on Twitch, we've got Leeds J, we've got Jesky. We've got Jesky's fella. Big love. Big love. Yeah, it's roasting. It's crazy hot tonight. But do you know what? I've got the fan on now. The fan is working, but it's not really doing anything. It's just kind of blowing warm air around the fucking room, which isn't like ideal, I'll be honest. It's not the best. But hey, what do you think about these new light stick things that I've got? Look at these little things in the background, like fucking lightsabers. What do you think of these? Jesse's fella sweating like a priest in a playground, mate. Jesus Christ. Jesky's melting with a cat on my lap. Oh, nah, I couldn't be doing that. We've got 2 cats. And if any one of them comes near me today, they're just getting put on the opposite couch. I don't need them anywhere near me. Fucking heat creating fur balls they are. Oh, Cecil. Cecil's here. Hello, Cecil. Hey up, Jenkins. How you doing? You okay? Jesky's fella, them lights are amazing, man. Do you like them? They're all right, aren't they? I'm just built like this back wall just seems to be accumulating more and more light sources. Like it's gonna be like it's gonna look like a fucking Meshuggah concert by the end of the year. Cecil, it's fucking well hot today. Yeah, it is. It's a joke. Jimmy Salmon. Jimmy, how you doing, mate? I've been drinking. Can I walk around and get myself cancelled? Depends. How many cream eggs can you fit up your bum, Jimmy? That's like the real question, isn't it? You know what I mean? I reckon 2. I reckon I can get 2 up my ass. You know what I mean? Those are the type of questions we ask on this stream. The big questions, the pertinent questions, the questions that are on the pucker of everybody's lips. To be fair, the amount I've drank, I'm up for trying it. As long as you mouth them in, for fuck's sake. They'll melt. You can't get cream egg up your ass in this heat. It's like nearly 30 degrees. It's not going to happen. It's just going to be fucking... It's just going to be chocolate mush around your sphincter. Do you know what I mean? Jesky, the fact that you've considered it is hilarious. Well, that's what it's about, innit? You've got to ask. You've got to ask. Do you know what I mean? When a question is is plucked from the wheel of steel? That question must be answered honestly and truthfully. You know what I mean? Hand on heart, or hand on arse. Egg on arse. Do you know what we didn't even think about? It didn't even, and it's only just dawned on me. The center of a cream egg. Do you know what I mean? It's not like shoving just a simple Easter egg into your anus. It's all kinds of, there's all kinds of shit inside a cream egg, isn't there? It's like a solid confectionery, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Leeds J, how many mini eggs can you fit up your bum? Oh, a whole packet. Whole packet. Easy. Easy. Mini eggs ain't nothing though, is it? Do you know what I mean? That'd be like suppository chocolate, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Jimmy Salmon, I heard you're making shove an iPad up there. Apparently so. Apparently that's how they get them into prison though. Do you know what I mean? So apparently it can be done if you're a street magician. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Chaka, Moderator Supreme, how you doing? You alright? Right. So, where the fuck were we up to with this book last week? We did 2 chapters, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, we met Khan, didn't we? We met Khan. Khan. Love Khan. So, yeah, we met Khan. Loken has basically been... Loken and Torg have kind of been pushed out, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Pushed out of the... Not like a cream... Not like you'd push a cream egg out your bum. But pushed out of the inner circle of Horus. And what's happening is... Horus is... We know Horus is setting a trap on this planet, Istvan. But we don't know what this trap is. So he's got half the Emperor's children. Some of the Death Guard are here. Well, the whole of the Death Guard's here, I think. And they're going to this planet. So, crazy. Chaka, all good. Just saw your stream with Loki. That boy cracks me up. Yeah, he's something else, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's a human whirlwind. Martin, how you doing, Martin? Driving home from work. Don't read too fast so I can catch up when I get home. Well, we'll do another 2 chapters tonight. We'll do another 2 chapters tonight. So I have been recording vocals all day, so as you can probably hear, my voice is a little bit you know what I mean? So I can't and I can't sit in this fucking heat for too long, I don't think. Wash, how you doing? You alright, Wash? Massive love, dude. Jesky, Loki would get on with my youngest. She's exactly the same. I said to him, right, so when the stream starts, let's say hello to everyone. You know what I mean? Let's say hiya to everyone and see how everyone is. And he's like, right, okay. And then the stream comes on and he's like, right, we're playing Choo Choo Charles. I'm going to start it now. I was just like, no. Just say hello. There's no messing about with him. There's no messing about with him. He's just like, right, I'm going to play Choo Choo Charles. Okay. I'm playing it then. I was just like, all right. You just have to go with the flow with him. There's no stopping him once he starts. Eggy. You're recording what you're doing. Ah, well. Secret, isn't it? It's a secret. It's a secret. But yeah, that's why my voice is all croaky, if you're wondering. I'm not ill or anything. Just been... I've been in here all day. I've been in this fucking room all day. Like every day. Nosser, you alright, mate? How you doing? Jesky's fella. Slam King Carnal Rock collab when? Whenever you send me a track and tell me what bit you want me to do. Just send me a track and tell me what you want me to do on it, and I'll do it. Easy. Easy peasy. Right, so, yeah, so there's a trap being set, and it's not looking good. Please, Jay, well, wouldn't surprise that you're always ill. How am I always ill? Where has this come from? I'm never, like, I'm barely ever ill. I'm never ill. I'm incredibly hard. You know what I mean? I'm from Manchester. We're built different up north. You know what I mean? People in the south who are ill all the time. Not me. I can't be. Can't be ill. Can't afford to be. The north-south divide, isn't it? You're not allowed to be ill up here. Can't afford it. Owen, you are always ill, like, at least 3 times this year. Yeah, but that's different, though, isn't it? That's different, though. 3 times in a year, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Do you know what I mean? It takes a mammoth illness to take me down. You know what I mean? To be fair, like, the times I've been ill recently have been, like, fucking exhaustion and shit, really. If I'm being honest. Just been like, and then, like, my body's just shutting down. Never forget the shit eye saga. That wasn't ill, though. That wasn't ill. That wasn't being ill, was it? I was still here. Patch on my face. Everything. Do you know what I mean? It still turned up. That's not being ill. Shit eye wasn't ill. That was just... That was more of an affliction, that. Do you know what I mean? Than an illness. Than a real illness. Do you know what I'm saying? Jesky, I've only been ill once and I'm scared. Exactly, see? Because you're from the north. Can't afford to be ill up here. Can't do it. Not allowed. Down south, you can be ill as much as you want. It's all good. It's fine. You know what I mean? We can't afford it up here. Who's going to walk the cobbled streets? Who's going to fix shoes? Do you know what I mean? Clean the chimneys. Who's going to sweep the chimneys? If we're all ill. Can't be done. Can't be done. You know what I mean? Where we living? Owen, to be fair, I am the furthest north out of the England. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? How are you the furthest north? How are you the furthest north? It's all relative, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Technically. You know what I mean? That's how it works, isn't it? Compasses and stuff like that. Right, so, we're in a trap. We're in a trap. We know this. We know that Horus is setting a trap. We don't know what the trap is. We just know it's on Istvan. And he plans to get... What did he say? What did he say his plan was? I can't remember, but it's bad. He wants to get rid of... like... loads of people or something. That's what he was saying anyway. So... let's... oh, the World Eaters are there as well. So it's the Death Guard, the World Eaters, half of the Emperor's children. Fulgrim sent half of the Emperor's children there and took the other half with him to go to the Iron Hands. So we've got the Death Guard, the World Eaters, half of the Emperor's children, and the Sons of Horus. That's who we've got here in the Istvan system. So, let us continue. Alright, here we go. Let me know if the music is too loud or any shit like that. If the music's too loud, let me know. As we delve into Chapter 3 of Galaxy in Flames by Ben Counter. Are we all sitting comfortably? Chapter 3. Horus enthroned. The Saint is in danger. Istvan 3. Lupercal's court was a new addition to the vengeful spirit. Previously, the War Master had held briefings and planning sessions on the Strategium, but it had been decided that he needed somewhere grander to hold court. Designed by Peter Egan Momus, it had been artfully constructed to place the War Master in a setting more suited to his position as leader of the Great Crusade and present him as the first among equals to his fellow commanders. Vast banners hung from the sides of the room, most belonging to the Legion's battle companies, though there were a few that Loken didn't recognize. He saw one with a throne of skulls set against a tower of brass rising from a blood-red sea, and another with an 8-pointed black star shining in a white sky. The meaning of such obscure symbols confounded Loken, but he assumed that they represented the warrior lodge that had become integral to the Legion. Greater than all the majesty designed by the architect designate was the Primarch of the Sons of Horus himself, enthroned before them on a great basalt throne. Abaddon and Aximan stood to one side. Both warriors were armored, Abaddon in the glossy black of the Justaerin, Aximan in his pale green plate. The two officers glared at Loken and Torgodon, the enmity that had grown between them during the Oretian campaign too great to hide anymore. As he met Abaddon's flinty gaze, Loken felt great sadness as they realized that the glorious ideal of the Mournival was finally and irrevocably dead. None of them spoke as Loken and Torgodon took their places on the other side of the War Master. Loken had stood with these warriors and sworn an oath by the light of a reflected moon on a planet the inhabitants called Terra, to counsel the War Master and preserve the soul of the Legion. That felt like a very long time ago.
Loken, Torgodon,
said Horus, and even after all that had happened, Loken felt honored to be so addressed.
Your role here is simply to observe and remind our Legion brothers of the solidarity of our cause. Do you understand?
Yes, my War Master, said Torgodon.
Loken,
asked the War Master. Loken nodded. The Gold Pass has just subscribed on YouTube, thank you very much. Loken nodded and took his allotted position.
Yes, War Master.
He felt the War Master's penetrating eyes boring into him, but kept his gaze fixed firmly on the arches that led into the Lupercal's court as the doors beneath one of them slid open. The tramp of feet sounded and a blood-red angel of death emerged from the shadows. Loken had seen the Primarch of the World Eaters before, but was still awed by his monstrous physical presence. Angron was huge, easily as tall as the War Master, but also massively broad, with wide, hulking shoulders like some enormous beast of burden. His face was scarred and violent, his eyes buried deep in folds of angry red scar tissue. Ugly cortical implants jutted from his scalp, connected to the collar of his armor by ribbed cables. The Primarch's armor was ancient and bronze, like that of a feral world god, with heavy metal plates over mail and twin chain axes strapped to his back. Loken had heard that Angron had once been a slave before the Emperor had found him, and that his masters had forced the implants on him to turn him into a psychotic killer for their fighting pits. Looking at Angron, Loken could well believe it. Angron's equerry, Khan, flanked the terrifying Primarch, his expression neutral where his master's was thunder.
Horus,
said Angron, his voice rough and brutal.
I see the War Master welcomes his brother like a king. Am I your subject now? Angron,
replied Horus unperturbed.
It is good that you could join us. And miss all this prettiness. Not for the world,
said Angron, his voice loaded with the threat of a smoldering volcano. A second delegation arrived through another of the arches, arrayed in the purple and gold of the Emperor's children. Led by Eidolon in all his magnificence, a squad of Astartes with glittering swords marched alongside the Lord Commander, their battle gear as ornate as their leaders. War Master, the Lord Fulgrim sends his regards, stated Eidolon formally and with great humility. Loken saw that Eidolon had learned the ways of a practiced diplomat since he last spoke to the War Master. He assures you that his task is well underway and he will join us soon. I speak for him and command the Legion in his stead. Loken's eyes darted from Angron to Eidolon, seeing the obvious antipathy between the two legions. The Emperor's children and the World Eaters were as different as could be. Angron's legion fought and won through raw aggression, while the Emperor's children had perfected the art of picking an enemy force apart and destroying it, one piece at a time. Lord Angron, said Eidolon with a bow. It is an honor. Angron did not deign to reply, and Loken saw Eidolon stiffen at this insult. But any immediate confrontation was averted as the final delegation to the War Master entered the Lupercal's court. Mortarion, Primarch of the Death Guard, was backed by a unit of warriors armed in the dull gleam of unpainted Terminator plate. Mortarion's armor was also bare, with a brass skull of the Death Guard on one shoulder guard. His pallid face and scalp were hairless and pocked, his mouth and throat hidden by a heavy collar that hissed spurts of grey steam as he breathed. A Death Guard captain marched beside the Primarch, and Loken recognized him with a smile. Captain Nathaniel Garrow had fought alongside the Sons of Horus in the days when they had been known as the Lunar Wolves. The Terran-born captain had won many friends within the War Master's Legion for his unshakable code of honor and his straightforward, honest manner. The Death Guard warrior caught Loken's gaze and gave a perfunctory nod of greeting.
With our brother Mortarion,
said Horus,
we are complete.
The War Master stood and descended from the elevated throne to the center of the court, as the lights dimmed and a glowing globe appeared before him, hovering just below the ceiling.
This, said Horus, is Istvan III. Courtesy of servitor-manned stellar cartography drones. Remember it well, for history will be made here.
Hey, Terror Trooper. Jonah Arukan paused in his labors and slipped a small hip flask from beneath his uniformed jacket as he checked for anyone watching. The hangar boy was bustling with activity, as it always seemed to be these days, but no one was paying him any attention. The days when an Imperator Titan being made ready for war would pause even the most jaded war maker in his tracks were long past. But there were few here who had not seen the mighty form of the DSE ray being furnished for battle scores of times already. He He took a hit from the flask and looked up at the old girl. The Titan's hull was scored and dented with wounds the Mechanicum servitors had not yet had time to patch. And Jonah patted the thick plates of her leg armor affectionately. "Well, old girl," he said, "you've certainly seen some action, but I still love you." He smiled at the thought of a man being in love with a machine, but he'd love anything that had saved his life as often as the DSE ray had. Through the fires of uncounted battles, they had fought together, and as much as Titus Cassar denied it, Jonah knew that there was a mighty heart and soul at the core of this glorious war machine. Jonah took another drink from his flask as his expression turned sour, thinking of Titus and his damned sermons. Titus said he felt the light of the Emperor within him, but Jonah didn't feel much of anything anymore. Hey, Absolute, how you doing, mate? As much as he wanted to believe in what Titus was preaching, he just couldn't let go of the skeptical core at the center of his being. To believe in things that weren't there, that couldn't be seen or felt. Titus called it faith, but Jonah was a man who needed to believe in what was real, what could be touched and experienced. Princeps Tournay would discharge him from the crew of the DSE ray if he knew he had attended prayer meetings back on Davin. And the thought of spending the rest of the crusade as a menial denied forever the thrill of commanding the finest war machine ever to come from the forges of Mars sent a cold shiver down his spine. Every few days, Titus would ask him to come to another prayer meeting, and the times he said yes, they would furtively make their way to some forsaken part of the ship to listen to passages read from the Letitio Divinatus. Each time he would sweat the journey back for fear of discovery, and the court-martial that would no doubt follow. Jonah had been a career Titan crewman since the day he had first set foot aboard his inaugural posting, a warhound Titan called the Venator. And he knew that if it came down to a choice, he would choose the DAC ray over the Letitio Divinatus every time. But still, the thought that Titus might be right continued to nag at him. He leaned back against the Titan's leg, sliding down until he was sitting on his haunches with his knees drawn up to his chest. "Faith," he whispered. "You can't earn it, and you can't buy it. Where then do I find it?" "Well," said a voice behind and above him, "you can start by putting that flask away and coming with me." Jonah looked up and saw Titus Cassar, resplendent as always in his parade-ready uniform, standing in the arched entrance to the Titan's leg bastions. Titus, said Jonah, hurriedly stuffing the hip flask back into his jacket. "What's up?" "We have to go," said Titus urgently. "The saint is in danger." Magard stalked along the shadowed companionways of this vengeful spirit at a brisk pace, marching at double time with the vigor of a man on his way to a welcome rendezvous. His hulking form had been steadily growing over the last few months, as though he was afflicted with some hideous form of rapid gigantism. But the procedures the War Master's apothecaries were performing on his frame were anything but hideous. His body was changing, growing and transforming beyond anything the crude surgeries of House Carpinus had ever managed. Already he could feel the new organs within him reshaping his flesh and bone into something greater than he could ever have imagined. And this was just the beginning. His Curlian blade was unsheathed, shimmering with a strange glow in the dim light of the corridor. He wore fresh, white robes, his enlarging physique already too massive for his armor. Legion artificers stood ready to reshape it once its flesh had settled into its new form, and he missed its reassuring solidity enclosing him. Like him, his armor would be born anew, forged into something worthy of the War Master and his chosen warriors. Magad knew he was not yet ready for such inclusion, but he had already carved himself a niche within the Sons of Horus. He walked where the Astartes could not, acted where they could not be seen to act, and spilled blood where they needed to be seen as peacemakers. It required a special kind of man to do such work, efficiently and conscience-free, and Magad was perfectly suited to his new role. He had killed hundreds of people at the behest of House Carpinus, and many more than that before he had been captured by them. But these had been poor, messy killings compared to the death he now carried. He remembered the sense of magnificent beginnings when Malagurst had tasked him with the death of Ignis Carcassi. Magad had jammed the barrel of his pistol beneath the poet's quivering jaw and blown his brains out over the roof of his cramped room before letting the generously fleshed body crash to the floor in a flurry of bloody papers. Why Malagurst had required Carcassi's death did not concern Magad. The equerry spoke with the voice of Horus, and Magad had pledged his undying loyalty to the War Master on the battlefield of Davin when he had offered him his sword. Later, whether in reward or as part of his ongoing designs, the War Master had killed his former mistress, Petronella Vivar, and for that, Magad was forever in his debt. Whatever the War Master desired, Magad would move heaven or hell to see it done. Now he had been ordered to do something wondrous. Now he was going to kill a saint. Of talisman that would protect him if someone challenged him. Come on, he whispered. Where are you? It had been a risk contacting Titus Cassar, but he had no one else to turn to. Mercedes did not believe in the Laetitio Divinatus, and in truth, he wasn't sure he did yet. But he knew that whatever or whoever had sent him the vision of Euphrates Keeler had meant him to act upon it. Likewise, Garviel Loken was out of the question, for it was certain that his movements would not escape notice. Iterator, hissed a voice from beside him, and Cinderman almost cried aloud in surprise. Titus Cassar stood beside him, an earnest expression creasing his slender face. Another man stood behind him, similarly uniformed in the dark blue of a Titan crewman. Titus, breathed Cinderman in relief. I wasn't sure you'd be able to come. We won't have long before Princess Tournay notice we're not at our posts. But your communication said the Saint was in danger. She is, confirmed Cinderman. Grave danger. How do you know? Asked the second man. Cassar's brow twisted in annoyance. I'm sorry, Kirill. This is Jonah Arukan, my fellow Moderati on the DSE Ray. He's one of us. I just know, said Cinderman. I saw... I don't know, a vision of her lying on her bed, and I knew someone intended her harm. A vision? breathed Kassar. Truly you are one of the chosen of the Emperor. No, hissed Sindamin. I'm really not. Now, come on. We don't have time for this. We have to go now. Where? Asked Jonah Arukan. The Medicaid deck, said Sindamin, holding up his chit. We have to get to the Medicaid deck. The surface of the shimmering globe above Horus resolved into continents and oceans, overlaid with the traceries of geophysical features, plains, forests, seas, mountain ranges, and cities. Horus held up his arms, as if supporting the globe from below like some titan from the ancient myths of old Earth.
This is Istvan III,
he repeated.
A world brought into compliance 13 years ago by the 27th Expeditionary Force of our brother Korax.
And he wasn't up to the job,
snorted Angron. Horus shot Angron a dangerous look.
There was some resistance, yes, but the last elements of the aggressive faction were destroyed by the Raven Guard at the Ridarth Valley.
The battle site flared red on the globe, nestled amongst a mountain range on one of Istvan III's northern continents.
The Remembrancer Order was not yet foisted upon us by the Council of Terror, but a substantial civilian contingent was left behind to begin integration with the Imperial Truth.
Are we to assume that the truth didn't take? Asked Eidolon.
Mortarion?
Prompted Horus, gesturing to his brother Primarch.
4 months ago, the Death Guard received a distress signal from Istvan III,
said Mortarion.
It was weak and old. We only received it because one of our supply ships joining the fleet at the Actoran dropped out of warp for repairs. Given the age of the signal and the time it took for it to be relayed to my command, it is likely that it was sent at least 2 years ago.
What did it say?
Asked Angron. In reply, the holographic image of the globe unfolded into a large, flat pane, like a pict screen hovering in the air, black, with just a hint of shadowy movement. A shape moved on the screen, and Loken realized it was a face. A woman's face, orange lit by candle flame that provided the only light. She appeared to be in a small, stone-walled chamber. Even over the poor quality of the signal, Loken could tell that the woman was terrified. Her eyes wide, her breathing rapid and shallow. She gleamed with sweat.
The insignia on her collar,
said Targadin.
It's from the 27th expedition.
The woman adjusted the device she was using to record the image, and sound flooded into the Lupercal's court, crackling flames, distant yelling, and gunfire. "It's revolution!" said the woman, her voice warped by static. "Open revolt! These people, they've rejected it all. We tried to integrate them. We thought the War Singers were just some primitive superstition, but it was much more. It was real. Praal's gone mad, and the war singers are with him. The woman suddenly looked around at something off screen. No! She screamed desperately and opened fire with a weapon previously held out of view. Violent muzzle flashes lit her, and something indescribable flailed against the far wall as she emptied her weapon into it. They're closer! They know we're here, and I think I'm the last one. The woman turned back to the screen. It's madness! It's complete madness down here. Please! I don't think I'm going to get through this. Send someone, anyone, just make this stop! A hideous, atonal, keening sound blared from the picked screen. The woman grabbed her head, her screams drowned by the inhuman sound. The last frames jerked and fragmented, freeze-framing through a series of gruesome images. Blood in the woman's frenzied eye, a swirling mass of flesh and shattered stone, and a mouth locked open, blood on teeth. Then blackness.
There have been no further communications from Isvan 3,
concluded Mortarion, filling the silence that followed.
The planet's astropaths have been either compromised or they are dead.
The name Praal refers to Varda's Praal,
said Horus.
The governor left behind to command Istvan III in the name of the Imperium. Ensure compliance and manage the dismantling of the traditional religious structures that define this planet's autochthonous society. If he is complicit in the rebellion on Istvan III, as this recording suggests, then he is one of our objectives.
Loken felt a shiver travel down his spine at the thought of once again facing a population whose imperial official had turned traitor. He glanced over at Torgadon and saw that the similarities with the Davin campaign were not lost on his comrade. The holo swelled and returned to the image of Istvan III.
The cultural and religious capital of Istvan is here,
said Horus, as the image zoomed in on one of the northern cities, which commanded a large hinterland at the foot of a colossal range of mountains.
The Coral City. This is the source of the distress signal and the seat of Praal's command. A building known as the Precentor's Palace. Multiple spear tips will seize a number of strategic objectives. And with the city in our hands, Istvan will be ours. The first assault will be a combined force made of Astartes from all legions, with backup from the Titans of the Mechanicum and the Imperial Army. The rest of the planet will then be subjugated by whichever Imperial Army reinforcement can reach us with a warp in its current state.
Why not just bombard them? Asked Eidolon. The sudden silence that followed his question was deafening. Loken waited for the War Master to reprimand Eidolon for daring to question one of his decisions, but Horus only nodded indulgently.
Because these people are vermin. And when you stamp out vermin from afar, some invariably survive. If we are to cut out the problem, we must get our hands dirty and destroy them in one fell swoop. It may not be as elegant as the Emperor's children would wish, but elegance is not a priority for me. Only swift victory.
Of course, said Eidolon, shaking his head. To think that these fools should be so blind to the realities of the galaxy.
Have no fear, Commander,
said Abaddon, descending to stand beside the War Master.
They will be illuminated as to the error of their ways.
Loken risked a sidelong glance at the first captain, surprised at the respect he heard in his voice. All the previous dealings between the sons of Horus and Eidolon had led him to believe that Abaddon held the arrogant Lord Commander in contempt. What had changed?
Mortarion,
continued Horus.
Your objective will be to engage the main force of the Coral City's army. If they are anything like they were when the Raven Guard fought them, they will be professional soldiers and will not break easily, even when confronted with Astartes.
The Hollow zoomed in to show a map of the Coral City. A handsome conurbation with many and varied buildings that ranged from exquisite mansions and basilica to massive sprawls of housing and tangles of industrial complexes. Artfully formed boulevards and thoroughfares threaded a multi-leveled city of millions, most of whom appeared to be housed in sprawling residential districts, workshops, and factories. The western edge of the city was highlighted, focusing on the scar-like web of defensive trenches and bunkers along the city's outskirts. The opposite side of the Coral City butted up against the sheer cliffs of a mountain range, the natural defenses efficiently shielding the city from a conventional land attack. Unfortunately for the Coral City, the War Master clearly wasn't planning a conventional land attack.
It appears that a sizable armed force is manning these defenses,
said Horus.
It looks as if they have excellent fortifications and artillery. Many of these defenses were added after compliance to protect the seat of Imperial governance on Istvan, which means they're ours, and they will be strong. It will be ugly work engaging and destroying this force. And there is still much about the Coral City's military we do not know.
I welcome this challenge, War Master,
said Mortarion.
This is my legion's natural battlefield.
Another location lurched into focus. A spectacular conglomeration of arches and spires, with dozens of labyrinth-like wings and additions surrounding a magnificent central dome faced in polished stone. The city's crowning glory. The structure looked like a jeweled brooch set into the twisted mass of the Coral City. The Precentor's Palace, said Eidolon appreciatively.
And your legion will take it,
said Horus,
along with the World Eaters.
Again, Loken caught Eidolon's glance at Angron, the Lord Commander unable to conceal the distaste he felt at the thought of fighting alongside such a barbaric legion. If Angron was aware of Eidolon's scornful glance, he gave no sign of it.
The palace is one of Prahl's most likely locations,
said Horus.
Therefore, the palace is one of our most important objectives. The palace must be taken, and the Coral City's leadership destroyed, and Prahl killed. He is a traitor, so I do not expect or wish for him to be taken alive.
Finally, the Hollow zoomed in on a curious mass of stonework some way east of the Precentor's Palace. To Loken's untutored eye, it looked like a collection of church spires or temples, sacred buildings heaped on top of one another over the centuries.
This is the Siren Hold, and my sons of Horus will lead the attack on this,
said Horus.
Coral City's revolt appears to be religious in nature, and the Siren Hold was the spiritual heart of the city. According to Korax's reports, this was the seat of the old pagan religion that was supposed to have been dismantled. It is presumed that it still exists, and that the leadership of the religion will be found here. This is another likely location for Varda's Praal. So again, I do not require prisoners, only destruction.
For the first time, Loken saw the battlefield he would soon be fighting on. The Siren Hold looked like difficult ground to take. Massive, complicated structures creating a confusing multi-leveled warren with plenty of places to hide. Dangerous ground. That was why the War Master had sent his own legion to take it. He knew they could do it. The Hollow zoomed out again to a view of the planet itself.
Preliminary operations will involve the destruction of the monitoring stations on the 7th planet of Istvan Extremis,
said Horus.
When the rebels are blind, the invasion of Istvan 3 will commence. The units chosen to lead the first wave will deploy by drop pod and gunship, with a second wave ready in reserve. I trust you all understand what is required of your legions.
I only have one question, War Master,
said Angron.
Speak,
said Horus.
Why do we plan this attack with such precision when a single massive strike will do the job just as well?
You object to my plans, Angron?
Horus asked carefully.
Of course I object,
spat Angron.
We have 4 legions, titans and starships at our disposal, and this is just one city. We should hit it with everything we have and slaughter them in the streets. Then we will see how many on this planet have the stomach to rebel. But no, you would have them kill them one by one and pick off their leaders as if we are here to preserve this world. Rebellion is in the people, Horus. Kill the people, and the rebellion ends.
Lord Angron, said Eidolon reasonably. You speak out of turn.
Hold your tongue in presence of your betters,
snarled Angron.
I know what you Emperor's children think of us, but you mistake our directness for stupidity. Speak to me again without my consent and I will kill you.
Angron!
Horus's voice cut through the building tension, and the Primarch of the World Eaters turned his murderous attention away from Eidolon.
You place little value on the lives of your World Eaters,
said Horus.
And you believe in the way of war you have made your own. But that does not place you beyond my authority. I am the War Master, the commander of everyone and everything that falls under the aegis of the Great Crusade. Your legion will deploy according to the orders I have given you. Is that clear?
Angron nodded curtly as Horus turned to Eidolon.
Lord Commander Eidolon, you are not among equals here, and your presence in this war council is dependent upon my good graces, which will be rapidly worn thin should you conduct yourself as if Fulgrim was here to nursemaid you.
Eidolon rapidly recovered his composure. Of course, my War Master. I meant no disrespect. I shall ensure that my legion is prepared for the assault on Istvan Extremis and the capture of the Precentor's palace. Horus switched his gaze to Angron, who grunted in assent.
The World Eaters will be ready, War Master,
said Khan.
Then this conclave is at an end,
said Horus.
Return to your legions and make ready for war.
The delegations filed out, Khan speaking quietly with Angron and Eidolon adopting a swagger as if to compensate for his dressing down. Loken thought he saw a gleam of amusement in Mortarian's eyes as he left with Garrow and his Terminators in tow. Horus turned to Abaddon and said,
Have a storm bird prepared to convey me to the Conqueror. Angron must be illuminated as to the proper conduct of this endeavor.
Horus turned and made his way from the Lupercal's court with Abaddon and Axaman following behind him without so much as a backwards glance at Loken and Torgadon.
Well, that was educational,
said Torgadon when they were alone. Loken smiled wearily.
I could feel you willing Angron to strike Eidolon.
Torgadon laughed, remembering when he and Eidolon had almost come to blows when they had first met on the surface of Murder.
If only we could join the War Master on the Conqueror, said Torgadon. Now, that would be something worth seeing. Horus illuminating Angron? What would they talk about?
What indeed,
agreed Loken. There was so much Loken didn't know, but as he pondered his unhappy ignorance, he remembered the last thing Kirill Cinderman had shouted to him as he was led away by Malagur's soldiers.
Tarek, we have a battle to prepare for, so I want you to get everyone ready. It's going to be an hard fight on this Van 3.
I know, said Torgadon. Sidenold, what a bloody shambles. It's what happens when you give people a god to believe in.
Get Vipus up to speed as well. If we're attacking the Sirenhold, I want Lacaster with us.
Of course, noted Torgadon.
Sometimes, I think you and Nero are the only people I can trust anymore. What are you gonna be doing?
I have some reading to catch up on,
said Loken. Oh shit. Right, that's the end of chapter 4. So I'm just going to go for a quick wee break, but we're going to let's have a little chat about what the fuck's going on, because it's all going mental. It's all going mental, so I'm going to go for a quick wee break, and then we'll have a little chat about what's just happened. Yeah, I am back. I have returned. All right. Hey, nurse, how you doing? You alright? Hey, Daryl Boyce. How you doing, mate? Daryl on YouTube. How you doing, bruv? It says, love that you're reading through the Horus Heresy. I just got into 40k. Sick! Currently reading through the Fall of Cadia. That's amazing. You'll love that. It's fucking sick. It's all sick. It's just so much of it, though. You know what I mean? You'll be reading it forever. Right, so. Oh, hang on. What was going on? What's Cecil and Eggy saying? Was something happening to the stream? Something wrong with it? Hey? Is everything normal yet, or what? Don't know really what's going on, to be honest. I've been lagging like mad. Is anybody else having problems with the stream? Because I've got it on. I can see what I've got, like my stream manager open on Twitch, and it seems okay. Just wondering whether it's on my end or anything, because everything seems fine on my end. So yeah, it's saying that my stream quality is excellent. So on Twitch, seems we've got better now. It died for a couple of seconds, and then there was loads of buffering. Oh right. Maybe my internet just went down for a couple of seconds or something. Like actually died. Add the picture of the guy holding his head. Ah, right, okay. So what that is that's stream connect protection. I've flicked that on. So basically, remember like ages ago when like randomly the stream would just end. And then everybody, like, the stream would be over, and then I'd have to start a new stream and shit. What that does is that stops that from happening. So it keeps it open, keeps the stream open, and then it'll bring it back on. So what that could have been is it could have been a problem with Twitch, or it could have been a problem on my end, or maybe my internet dipped out for like a second or so. That's basically what it is. Snow, how much are we reading tonight? I'm going to read another chapter. I'm going to do 2 chapters every week. I can't really do any more than 2 chapters tonight anyway, because my voice is a bit shot. And it's crazy hot in here, so. Especially with all these fucking Primarchs turning up. I had to make up new voices. I had to make up voices for fucking Angron and fucking Mortarion. So that was that chapter had a lot of dialogue in. A lot of dialogue. But certain things we're now aware of. So we know that Magad is being sent to kill Euphrates Keeler. We also know that Magad has been receiving some strange physical upgrades to his body. Like he's got much bigger. And he has new organs, it said. So they've been upgrading Magad. We had... What else did we get? Oh, we know that Titus, Jonah, and Cinderman are desperately trying to get to Euphrates Keeler before Magad. They don't know that it's Magad that's going to kill her, but they know that she's in danger. Snow, we did finally get a mention of Corvus Corax. He is amazing. He's Batman, isn't he? Basically. Owen, bro, they're turning him into a Frankenastartes. Well, I don't actually know what they're doing to him. It's Summit though. he's getting bigger and he's getting extra organs. So that's not good. So, but what we also learned from him, from his inner monologues and his thoughts, he is being used as an assassin. He's being used to take out. He's being used to take out targets that the Astartes, the Space Marines, can't be seen to take out. So they're using him as a fucking, as an assassin.
And then we've basically been given an insight into Horus's battle plan.
The plan that we know is a trap. And Torgadon and Loken are literally like basically being ignored by Horus and the fucking Mournival. Because they all left and just left them there. So
it's not looking great, is it? We know it's a trap, but we don't know what type of trap it is.
As far as Loken and Torgadon know, they're going to take out another world that's rebelled, basically. Two for two. This is the second time they've been sent to a world that's apparently rebelling. You know what I mean? So, right, let's crack it. Shall we crack on? Shall we crack on? Find out what the fuck's going on. Alright, let's get this music back on. Right, here we go. Chapter 4. Ooh. Chapter 4. Sacrifice. A single moment. Keep her safe. Wherever Erebus walked, shadows followed in his wake. Flickering whispers were his constant companions, invisible creatures that lurked just beyond sight and ghosted in his shadow. The whisperers flitted from Erebus and gathered in the shadowed corners of the chamber. A stone-walled lodge built in the image of the temple room of the Delphos where Akshub had cut his throat. Deep in the heart of the vengeful spirit, the lodge temple was low, close and hot, lit by a crackling fire that burned in a pit in the middle of the room. Flames threw leaping shapes across the walls. "My War Master," said Erebus. "We are prepared."
Good,
replied the War Master.
It has cost us a great deal to reach this point, Erebus. For all our sakes, it had better be worth it. But mostly for yours.
"It will be, War Master," assured Erebus, paying no heed to the threat. "Our allies are keen to finally speak to you directly." Erebus stooped to stare into the fire, the flames reflecting from his shaven, tattooed head, and in his armor, recently painted in the deep scarlet colors now adopted by the Wordbearer's Legion. As confident as he sounded, he allowed himself a moment of pause. Dealing with creatures from the warp was never straightforward, and should he fail to meet the War Master's expectations, then his life would be forfeit. The War Master's presence filled the lodge, armored as he was in a magnificent suit of obsidian Terminator armor gifted to him by the Fabricator General himself. Sent from Mars to cement the alliance between Horus and the Mechanicum of Mars, the armor echoed the colors of the elite Justarian, but it far surpassed them in ornamentation and power. The amber eye upon the breastplate lifted a book from beside the fire and rose to his feet, reverently turning the ancient pages until he came to a complex illustration of interlocking symbols.
We are ready. I can begin once the sacrifice is made.
Horus nodded and said,
Adept, join us.
Moments later, the bent and robed form of Adept Regulus entered the warrior lodge. The representative of the Mechanicum was almost completely mechanized, as was common amongst the higher echelons of his order. Beneath his robes, his body was fashioned from gleaming bronze, steel, and cables. Only his face showed, if it could be called a face, with large augmetic eyepieces and a vocabulator unit that allowed the adept to communicate. Regulus led the ghostly figure of Ingmei Singh, her steps fearful and her hands flitting as if swatting at a swarm of flies.
This is unorthodox,
said Regulus, his voice like a steel wire on the nerves.
Adept,
said the War Master.
You are here as a representative of the Mechanicum. The priests of Mars are essential to the Crusade, and they must be a part of the New Order. You have already pledged your strength to me, and now it is time you witness the price of that bargain.
War Master. I am yours to command.
Horus nodded and said,
Erebus, continue.
Erebus stepped past the War Master and directed his gaze towards Ingmei Singh. Though the astropath was blind, she recoiled as she felt his eyes roaming across her flesh. She backed against one wall, trying to shrink away from him, but he grasped her arm in a crushing grip and dragged her towards the fire.
She is powerful,
said Erebus.
I can taste her.
She is my best,
said Horus.
That is why it has to be her,
said Erebus.
The symbolism is as important as the power. A sacrifice is not a sacrifice if it is not valued by the giver.
No, please, cried Ingmei Singh, twisting in his grip as she realized the import of the word-bearer's statement. Horus stepped forwards and tenderly took hold of the astropath's chin, halting her struggles and tilting her head upwards so that she would have to look upon his face had she but eyes to see.
You betrayed me, Mr. Singh,
said Horus. Ingmei Singh whimpered, nonsensical protests spilling from her terrified lips. She tried to shake her head, but Horus held her firm and said,
There is no point in denying it. I already know everything. After you told me of Euphrates, you sent a warning to someone, didn't you? Tell me who it was, and I will let you live. Try to resist, and your death will be more agonizing than you can possibly imagine.
No, whispered Ingmei Singh. I am already dead. I know this, so kill me and have done with it.
You will not tell me what I wish to know?
There is no point, gasped Ingmei Singh. You will kill me whether I tell you or not. You may have the power to conceal your lies, but your serpent does not. Erebus watched as Horus nodded slowly to himself, as if reluctantly reaching a decision.
Then we have no more to say to one another,
said Horus sadly, drawing back his arm. He rammed his clawed gauntlet through her chest, the blades tearing through her heart and lungs and ripping from her back in a spray of red. Erebus nodded towards the fire, and the War Master held the corpse above the pit, letting Ingmei Singh's blood drizzle into the flames. The emotions of her death flooded the lodge as the blood hissed in the fire, hot, raw, and powerful. Fear, pain, and the horror of betrayal. Erebus knelt and scratched designs on the floor, copying them exactly from the diagrams in the book. A star with 8 points that was orbited by 3 circles, a stylized skull, and the cuneiform runes of Colchis.
You have done this before,
said Horus. Many times, said Erebus, nodding towards the fire. I speak here with my Primarch's voice, and it is a voice our allies respect.
They are not allies yet,
said Horus, lowering his arm and letting the body of Ingmei Singh slide from the claws of his gauntlet. Erebus shrugged and began chanting words from the Book of Lorgar, his voice dark and guttural as he called upon the gods of the warp to send their emissary. Despite the brightness of the fire, the lodge darkened and Erebus felt the temperature fall, a chill wind gusting from somewhere unseen and unknown. It carried the dust of ages past and the ruins of empires in its every breath. An ageless eternity was born upon the unnatural Zephyr.
Is this supposed to happen?
Asked Regulus. Erebus smiled and nodded without answering as an air grew icy, the whisperers gibbering in unreasoning fear as they felt the arrival of something ancient and terrible. Shadows gathered in the corners of the room, although no light shone to cast them, and a racing whip of malicious laughter spiraled round the chamber. Regulus spun on hissing bearings as he sought to identify the source of the sounds, his ocular implants whirring as they struggled to find focus in the darkness. Frost gathered on the struts and pipes high above them. Horus stood unmoving as the shadows of the chamber hissed and spat, a chorus of voices that came from everywhere and nowhere.
You are the one your kind calls War Master.
Erebus nodded as Horus looked over at him.
I am, said Horus, War Master of the Great Crusade. To whom do I speak?
I am Sarkel. shadows.
The three of them made their way swiftly through the decks of the Vengeful Spirit, heading down towards the tiled environment of the Medicae deck. Sinderman kept the pace as brisk as he could, his breath sharp and painful as they hurried to save the Saint from whatever dark fate awaited her. "What do you expect to find when we reach the Saint, Iterator?" asked Jonah Arukan, his nervous hands fingering the catch on his pistol holster. Sinderman thought of the small Medicae cell where he and Mercedes Ollerton had stood vigil over Euphrates and wondered that exact same thought. "I don't know exactly. I just know we have to help. I just hope a frail old man and our pistols are up to the job." "What do you mean?" asked Sinderman, as they descended a wide screw stair that led deeper into the ship. "Well, I just wonder how you plan to fight the kind of danger that could threaten a Saint. I mean, whatever it is must be pretty damn dangerous, yeah?" Sinderman paused in his descent, as much to catch his breath as to answer Arukan. "Whoever sent me that warning obviously thinks that I can help," he said. "And that's enough for you?" asked Arukan. "Jonah, leave him alone," cautioned Titus Kassar. "No, damn it, I won't," said Arukan. "This is serious, and we could get into real trouble. I mean, this Keeler woman, she's supposed to be all saintly, yeah? Then why doesn't the power of the Emperor save her? Why does he need us?" "The Emperor works through his faithful servants, Jonah," explained Titus. "It is not enough to simply believe and await divine intervention to sweep down from the heavens and set the world to rights. The Emperor has shown us the path, and it's up to us to seize this chance to do his will." Sinderman watched the exchange between the two crewmen, his anxiety growing with every second that passed. "Don't know if I can do this, Titus," said Arukan. "Not without some proof that we're doing the right thing." "We are, Jonah," pressed Titus. "You must trust that the Emperor has a plan for you." "The Emperor may or may not have a plan for me, but I sure as hell do," snapped Arukan. "I want command of a Titan, and that's not going to happen if we get caught doing something stupid." "Please," cut in Sinderman, his chest hurting with worry for the Saint. "We have to go. Something terrible is coming to harm her, and we have to stop it. I can think of no more compelling argument than that. I'm sorry, but you'll just have to trust me." "Why should I?" asked Arukan. "You've given me no reason to. I don't even know why I'm here." "Listen to me, Mr. Arukan," said Sinderman earnestly. "When you live as long and as complex a life as I have, you learn that it always comes down to a single moment. A moment in which a man finds out, once and for all, who he really is. This is that moment, Mr. Arukan. Will this be a moment you are proud to look back on, or will it be one you will regret for the rest of your life?" The two Titan crewmen shared a glance, and eventually Arukan sighed and said, "I need my head looked at this. But all right, let's go save the day." A palpable sense of relief flooded through Sinderman, and the pain in his chest eased. "I'm proud of you, Mr. Arukan, and I thank you. Your aid is most welcome." "Thank me when we save this saint of yours," said Arukan, setting off down the stairs. They followed the stairs down, passing several decks until the symbol of intertwined serpents around a winged staff indicated they had arrived at the Medicae deck. It had been some weeks since the last casualties had been brought aboard the Vengeful Spirit, and the sterile, gleaming wilderness of tiled walls and brushed steel cabinets felt empty. A warren of soulless glass rooms and laboratories.
This way, said Cinderman, setting off into the confusing maze of corridors, the way familiar to him after all the times he had visited the comatose imagist. Kassar and Arukan followed him, keeping a watchful eye out for any who might challenge their presence. At last, they reached a nondescript white door, and Cinderman said, "This is it." Arukan said, "Better let us go first, old man." Cinderman nodded and backed away from the door, pressing his hands over his ears as the two Titan crewmen unholstered their pistols. Arukan crouched low behind the door and nodded to Kassar, who pressed the release panel. The door slid aside and Arukan spun through it with his pistol extended. Kassar was a second behind him, his pistol tracking left and right for targets, and Cinderman awaited the deafening flurry of pistol shots. When none came, he dared to open his eyes and uncover his ears. He didn't know whether to be glad or deathly afraid that they were too late. He turned and looked through the door, seeing the familiar clean and well-maintained Medicae cell he had visited many times. Euphrates lay like a mannequin on the bed, her skin like alabaster, and her face pinched and sunken. A pair of drips fed her fluids, and a small, bleeping machine drew spiking lines on a green display unit beside her. The official atomic. Massive love for the follow, thank you. Aside from her immobility, she looked just as she had the last time he had laid eyes on her. "Just as well we rushed," snapped Arukan. "Looks like we were here just in time." "I think you might be right," said Cinderman, as he saw the golden-eyed figure of Maggard come into view at the far end of the corridor with his sword unsheathed.
"You are known to us, War Master,"
said Sarkel, his voice leaping around the room like a capricious whisper.
"It is said that you are the one who can deliver us. Is that true?"
"Perhaps," replied Horus, apparently unperturbed by the strangeness of his unseen interlocutor.
My brother Lorgar assures me that your masters can give me the power to achieve victory.
Victory. An almost meaningless word in the scale of the cosmos. But yes, we have much power to offer you. No army will stand before you. No power of mortal man will lay you low. And no ambition will be denied you if you swear yourself to us.
Just words, said Horus. Show me something tangible.
Power,
hissed Sarkel, the sound rippling around Horus like a slithering snake.
The warp brings power. There is nothing beyond the reach of the gods of the warp.
Gods, replied Horus. You waste your time throwing such words around. They do not impress me. I already know that your gods need my help. So speak plainly, or we are done here.
Your Emperor,
replied Sarkel, and for a fleeting moment, Erebus detected a trace of unease in the creature's voice. Such entities were unused to the defiance of a mortal, even one as mighty as a Primarch.
He meddles in matters he does not understand. On the world you call terror, his grand designs cause a storm in the warp that tears it asunder from within. We care nothing for your realm. You know this. It is anathema to us. We offer power that can help you take his place, War Master. Our aid will see you destroy your foes and take you to the very gates of the Emperor's palace. We can deliver the galaxy to you. All we care for is that his work cease, and that you take his place.
The unseen voice spoke in sibilant tones, slick and persuasive. But Erebus could see that Horus was unmoved.
And what of this power? Do you understand the magnitude of this task? The galaxy will be divided. Brother will fight brother. The Emperor will have his legions and the Imperial Army, the Custodian Guard, the Sisters of Silence. Can you be the equal of such a foe?
The gods of the warp are masters of the primal forces of all reality. As your Emperor creates, the warp decays and destroys. As he brings us to battle, we shall melt away, and as he gathers his strength, we shall strike from the shadows. The victory of the gods is as inevitable as the passing of time and the mortality of flesh. Do the gods not rule an entire universe hidden from your eyes, War Master? Have they not made the warp dark at their command?
Your gods did this. Why? You have blinded my legions.
Necessity, War Master. The darkness blinds the Emperor too. Binds him to our plans and yours. The Emperor thinks himself the master of the warp, and he would seek to know his enemies by it. But see how swiftly we can confound him. You will have passage through the warp as you need it, War Master. For as we bring darkness, so we can bring light.
The Emperor remains ignorant of all that has transpired.
Completely. And so, War Master, you see the power we can give you. All that remains is for your word, and the pact will be made.
Horus said nothing, as if weighing up the choices before him, and Erebus could sense the growing impatience of the warp creature. At last, the War Master spoke again.
Soon, I shall unleash my legions against the worlds of the Istvan system. There I shall set my legions upon the path of the new crusade. There are matters that must be dealt with at Istvan, and I will deal with them in my own way.
Horus looked over at Erebus and said,
When I am done with Istvan, I will pledge my forces with those of your masters, but not until then. My legions will go through the fire of Istvan alone, for only then will they be tempered into my shining blade aimed at the Emperor's heart.
The sibilant, roiling chill of Sarkel's voice hissed as if he took mighty breaths.
My masters accept. You have chosen well, War Master.
The chill wind that had carried the words of the warp entity blew again. Stronger this time. Its ageless malevolence like the murder of innocents. Its icy touch slid through Erebus, and he drew a cold breath before the sensation faded, and the unnatural darkness began to recede. The light of the fire once more illuminating the lodge temple. The creature was gone, and the void of its presence was an ache felt deep in the soul. Was it worth it, War Master? Asked Erebus, releasing the pent-up breath he had been holding.
Yes,
said Horus, glancing down at Ingmei Singh's body.
it was worth it.
The War Master turned to Regulus and said,
Adept, I wish the Fabricator General to be made aware of this. I cannot contact him directly, so you will take a fast ship and make for Mars. If what this creature says is true, you will make good time. Kelbor Hal is to purge his order and make ready for the part in my new crusade. Tell him that I shall contact him when the time comes, and that I expect the Mechanicum to be united.
Of course, War Master. Your will be done.
Waste no time, Adept. Go.
Regulus turned to leave, and Erebus said, We have waited a long time for this day. Lorgar will be exultant.
Lorgar has his own battles to fight, Erebus,
replied Horus sharply.
Should he fail at Calth, all this will be for nothing if Gilliman's Legion is allowed to intervene. Save your celebrations for when I sit upon the throne of terror.
Sindaman felt his heart lurch in his chest at the sight of Petronella's bodyguard coming towards them. The man's every step was like death approaching, and Sindaman cursed himself for having taken so long to get here. His tardiness had killed the saint and would probably see them all dead as well. Jonah Arukan's eyes widened as he saw the massive form of the saint's killer approaching. He turned quickly and said, Titus, grab her now!
What?
asked Kassar.
She's hooked up to all these machines. We can't just...
Don't argue with me, hissed Arukan. Just do it! We've got company. Bad company. Arukan turned back to Sindaman and hissed. Well, Iterator, is this that single moment you were talking about, where we find out who we really are? If it is, then I'm already regretting helping you. Sindaman couldn't reply. He saw Magad notice them outside Euphrates' room and felt a cold, creeping horror as a slow smile spread across the man's features. I'm going to kill you, the smile said. Slowly. Don't hurt her, he whispered, the words sounding pathetic in his ears. Please. He wanted to run, to get far away from the evil smile that promised a silent, agonizing death. But his legs were lead weights, rooted to the spot by some immense power that prevented him from moving so much as a muscle. Jonah Arukan slid from the Medicae cell, with Titus Kassar behind him, the recumbent form of Euphrates in his arms. Dripping tubes dangled from her arms, and Sindaman found his gaze unaccountably drawn to the droplets as they swelled at the ends of the plastic tubes before breaking free and plummeting to the deck to splash in crowns of saline. Arukan held his pistol out before him, aimed at Magad's head. Don't come any closer, he warned. Magad did not even slow down, and that same deathly smile shone at Jonah Arukan. With Euphrates still in his arms, Titus Kassar backed away from the relentlessly approaching killer.
Come on, damn it, let's go!
Arukan shoved Sindaman after Kassar, and suddenly the spell of immobility that had held him rooted to the spot was broken. Magad was less than 10 paces from them, and Sindaman knew that they could not hope to escape without bloodshed.
Shoot him!
Shouted Kassar.
What?
Asked Arukan, throwing his fellow crewman a desperate glance.
Shoot him!
Repeated Kassar.
Kill him before he kills us!
Jonah Arukan tore his gaze back to the approaching Magad and nodded, pulling the trigger twice in quick succession. The noise was deafening, and the corridor was filled with blinding light and careening echoes. Tiles shattered and exploded as Arukan's bullets cratered the wall behind where Magad had been standing. Sindaman cried out at the noise, backing away after Titus Kassar. As Magad spun out from the sunken doorway in which he had taken cover from the instant before Arukan had fired. Magad's pistol leapt to his hand, and the barrel blazed with light as he fired 3 times. Sindaman cried out, throwing up his arms and awaiting the awful pain of bullets tearing into his flesh, ripping through his internal organs and blowing bloody-rimmed craters in his back. Nothing happened, and Sindaman heard a cry of astonishment from Jonah Arukan, who had likewise flinched at the thunderous noise of Magad's gun. He lowered his arms, and his mouth fell open in amazement at the sight before him. Magad still stood there, his muscled arm still holding his wide-barreled pistol aimed squarely at them. A frozen bloom of light expanded at an infinitesimally slow pace from the muzzle, and Sindaman could see a pair of bullets held immobile in the air before them. Only the glint of light on metal as they spiraled, giving any sign that they were moving at all. As he watched, the pointed nub of a brass bullet began to emerge from the barrel of Magad's gun, and Sindaman turned in bewilderment to Jonah Arukan. The Titan crewman was shocked as he was, his arms hanging limply at his side.
"The hell is going on?"
breathed Arukan.
I don't know," stammered Sindaman, unable to tear his gaze from the frozen tableau standing in front of them. Maybe we're already dead." "No, Iterator," said Kassar from behind them. "It's a miracle."
Sindaman turned, feeling as if his entire body was numb, only his heart hammering fit to break his chest. Titus Kassar stood at the end of the corridor, the saint held tightly to his chest, where before Euphrates had lain supine. Her eyes were now wide in terror, her right hand extended, and the silver eagle that had been burned into her flesh glowing with a soft inner light.
"Euphrates!"
cried Sindaman, but no sooner had he given voice to her name than her eyes rolled back in their sockets and her hand dropped to her side. He risked a glance back at Magad, but the assassin was still frozen by whatever power had saved their lives. Sindaman took a deep breath and made his way on unsteady legs to the end of the corridor. Euphrates lay with her head against Kassar's chest, as unmoving as she had been for the last year, and wanted to weep to see her so reduced. He reached up and ran a hand through Euphrates' hair, her skin hot to the touch.
"She saved us,"
said Kassar, his voice awed and humbled by what he had seen.
"I think you might be right, my dear boy," said Sindaman. "I think you might be right."
Jonah Arukan joined him, alternating between casting fearful looks at Magad and Euphrates. He kept his pistol trained on Magad and said, "What do we do about him?" Sindaman looked back at the monstrous assassin and said,
"Leave him. I will not have his death on the saint's hands. What kind of beginning would it be for the Laetitio Divinatus if the saint's first act is to kill?
If we are to found a new church in the name of the Emperor, it will be one of forgiveness, not bloodshed.
You sure? Asked Arukan. You will come after her again?
Then we will keep her safe from him. The Letitio Divinatus has friends aboard the Vengeful Spirit, and we can hide her until she recovers. Iterator, do you agree?
Yes. That's what to do, nodded Cinderman.
Hide her. Keep her safe.
Done. There we go. There we go. So, what has happened here? What has happened? Okay, so yeah, I did forget to lower the emotes. It's all right. So much to remember. So, two major things have just happened in that chapter. Obviously, what's just happened at the end is Cinderman, Kassar, and Jonah managed to save Euphrates from Magad because Euphrates performed another miracle and froze Magad and his bullets. Just froze it. Like, not ice frozen, just stopped them in time. And then went unconscious again. Which is mental. Crazy. The official atomic. Paul Queechy saved them with his infinite power. Paul Queechy and his mysterious penis saved the day. So, yeah. So, Euphrates Keeler has just performed another miracle while she was unconscious. So what is happening there? How is this happening? How is she able to perform these miracles? Yeah, he's not so secret penis. Paul Queechy is not so secret penis. And the other thing that happened, Horus has made a deal. Horus sacrificed his astropath. So the Psyker, who guides his ship through the warp, he sacrificed her in order to gain an audience with some kind of entity from the warp to make a deal, to make an agreement. And this entity said that it speaks on behalf of the gods of the warp, and that these gods can gift Horus with power. The gods of the warp. Any, no! What? The stream's dead. Not again, dude. Really? For fuck's sake. Fucking stream, man. What is going on today? It went off for a couple of seconds. I don't know what's going on. It's been fine on mine because I've got my stream manager open, which shows me the stream. Not just like this. Like I've actually got it open on
Gale's
Twitch.
cursed me. Fucking asshole.
So I don't know what the fuck's going on. Why is it doing this to me? Shitting in my mouth today. Never mind cream eggs up the bum. I'm getting fucking bum eggs in the mouth. Oh, my ass is hurting. Not from cream eggs or anything like that. Like, not that. I mean, just from sitting on this chair for fucking hours on end. Oh. Oh, it's fine now. Right, okay. Chaka. I think Horus is selling his soul. Ooh. Ooh. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think this entity is that he's talking to? It said it's an entity from the warp and it speaks on behalf of the gods of the warp. So, that geezer that Horus was talking to, he's not even the big cheese. He's not even the boss. He's just talking on behalf of him. He's just a mouthpiece. But he said, what did he say? He said, I will pledge, Horus said, I will pledge my my forces to your gods after I have dealt with what needs to be dealt with on Istvan. Because my warriors must do this alone. And when they come through it, they will be tempered into the steel blade that I will aim at the heart of the Emperor. That's what he said. Jesky, it's the weather. It's too hot. Even Twitch is giving up. Do you know what? It fucking very well could be. It's not my laptop, though. My laptop's absolutely fine. Got the big old fan unit on it now, hasn't it? So it's not that. I don't know whether it's the internet or Twitch. It's either... I don't know. I don't know is the answer. You know what I mean? I'm not an expert. Jacka, you need a more fluffy chair. I do need a better chair, to be fair. Where did I get this one from? I got this off Amazon. I think it was like 60 quid or something. But I mean, it does the job. It's fine. It's fine. It's just when I've been sat down for like fucking, how long have I been sat here for? Since what? 6:30? Nearly 9 o'clock now. Like 2.5 hours I've been sat here. And the hour before. And then I've been sat here all day as well, like recording shit. So I've been sat here all day. That's probably why my ass is hurting. The official Atomic. I honestly think you could do an amazing D&D campaign with that narration, Jason. Oh, thanks. I play D&D every Friday with my friends, with Steve and Gav. I've only ever DM'd. I've only ever been a dungeon master once, like a proper dungeon master for like a proper campaign. I did a campaign here for Steve, Gav, and Brad, and I was the dungeon master on that. We did a level 20 campaign. I've dungeon mastered before for my kids and stuff, like when we play Dungeons and Dragons with the kids and that, but just like little dungeons or whatever. But yeah, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I play it every Friday. I didn't play last Friday though, because I was like dying. But yeah, I play Dungeons and Dragons every Friday. Every now and again, I'll play it with the kids, and every like twice a year, our D&D group, we go away to like this 700-year-old cottage for a weekend and play Dungeons and Dragons like all weekend. It's wild good. It's fucking sick. It's awesome. I love Dungeons and Dragons. It is whatever you make it. That's why it's so sick. Chaka, I mean, there must be powerful gods in the warp. Possibly. Did anybody notice the symbol that Erebus drew in the ground when he was writing the symbols to make contact with this entity in the warp? Did anyone notice what one of the symbols was? Want me to give you a clue? That is that. That's the symbol he drew in the floor. An 8-pointed star. That's what he drew. Jesky's fella, I got it tattooed on the side of my neck. Legend. I need to get a Chaos Star tattooed on me. I need a Warhammer tattoo. I was thinking about getting like a chest piece with nearly said a spoiler then, so I won't say that. But I'm thinking of getting a Warhammer chest piece. Leeds J, how far ahead is the Siege of Terror? Right at the end. Like right at the end of the series. I would say about 67 books away. It's right at the end. The Siege of Terror is the end. It's like the final act is the Siege of Terror. Martin, it's better than your old COVID chair. Oh my god, it is, isn't it? Remember that chair? It was just like a cheapo kitchen chair, wasn't it? It is better than that. Official Atomic, I love it too, but I never got to play. Just find some people, man. You can find them on forums and stuff. Find a group and just play, because you can play it online. That's how I do it every Friday, and then we play it in person, like around a table, twice a year. In like it's like this 700-800-year-old cottage in Wales. It's well good. It's middle of nowhere, and then we're just there for a weekend, playing Dungeons and Dragons and shit. It's fucking sick. Jesky, I've never played it, but I'd love to learn how to. It's so easy. You can play it completely for free. You can literally play it for free. Because there's a website called D&D Beyond, and you can make a free account on there, and you just make your character. Like, you make your character sheet on that, and then you can just play it like that. You don't need anything. You don't even need models. You don't need anything, because you can roll the dice on the website. You can play it totally for free if you want to. Yeah, it's dead easy as well. Like you can with the rules, you can either do them like exactly as they're written, or you can just fucking make it up. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a role-playing game. Like, what it is you have a dungeon master, and all you have to think of the dungeon master is a referee. Like, they're facilitating what you want to do. So, for example, you're not playing against anyone. You're not playing against the dungeon master. The dungeon master and the players, you're all collaborating to create a story effectively. Like, I mean, you can get some dungeon masters who are like actively trying to kill players, like, but that's not how we play. We play it as a role-playing game. And so, for example, the dungeon master would say, you walk out of the woods, and as the trees become more sparse, you enter a clearing, and in front of you, about 20 feet away, is the side of a cliff, like a rock face. In the cliff is a cave mouth. What do you want to do? And then you'll just say, like, I'd say, I walk up to the cave mouth and see if I can hear anything in there. And then the dungeon master would say, roll for perception. So then, if you had a physical character sheet, you'd have a look at what your perception skill is and what bonus it gives you. So it'll give you like a bonus. So say my perception was +3. So then if I was playing in real life, I'd get a D20, a 20-sided dice. I'd roll it, and then whatever number comes up, I'd add my perception bonus, which would be 3. So say I rolled 15, I'd add 3 to it, and then I'd say, oh, I rolled an 18. And that would be very high, generally. So then the dungeon master would say, as you lean towards the mouth of the cave, you can hear wind rushing through, and just beyond the sound of the wind, you can hear running water, like a waterfall or possibly a river. And then you choose what you want to do next. So what they're doing is, what the dungeon master's job is to tell you, is to set the scene, and then when you tell them what you want to do, they tell you how you can achieve that with a dice roll. That's it. That's literally it. That's literally how easy it is. Like, that's how simple it is. That's boiling it down to its simplest. That's what Dungeons and Dragons is. And then it can get, like, then obviously you can get into combat, which is, well, you've played Baldur's Gate 3, haven't you? If you've played Baldur's Gate 3, you've played Dungeons and Dragons. It's exactly that. Baldur's Gate 3 is the closest to actual Dungeons and Dragons I have ever seen a game come. It is almost exactly the same. How limitless it is. Do you know what I mean? Baldur's Gate 3 is like as close as it's gonna get for a long time. How you can almost try anything. In Dungeons and Dragons, you can try anything. Like, you can try anything. Official Atomic. Paul Queechy D&D villain arc when... Oh, Paul Queechy was the quintessential D&D hero, weren't he? Going around just penis first around Baldur's Gate. Jesky, I'll definitely have to give it a go. Can you put the website in the Discord for me so I don't forget? Yeah, absolutely. Of course I can. I'll put it in the Dungeons and Dragons channel in the Discord. I'll bang it in there for you after I finish the stream. But it is really easy. It can be as easy or as complicated as you want it. That's the beauty of it. That's why I can play it with my kids. Do you know what I mean? Because I can simplify everything for them. I can make it super easy for them. Do you know what I mean? That's what's so good. Official Atomic. I wonder if we'll ever have a Discord D&D night. Oh, that'd be... I don't think we'd be able to do that. It'd just be too difficult. maybe I'll do a D&D stream at some point, but a D&D Discord night would be too. It's like you can't, like, once it gets past like 6 players, it's almost unmanageable because it takes forever. Do you know what I mean? It'd take forever to, like, especially if you got into combat, because it's turn-based, isn't it? Exactly how it is. The combat is exactly how it is in Baldur's Gate. So it's like, do you imagine doing that with 20 people? It's impossible. You couldn't do it. But I'll tell you what, if any of you guys in the Discord want to play D&D, by all means you can use the video channel in the Discord to do so, because you can play it online. So what you do is you create a D&D Beyond account, and then in Google Chrome you download the D&D Beyond extension, and then so you'll have that open. Your D&D Beyond will be open with your character sheet. This is how we play it every Friday. And then in another window you'll go onto a website called Roll20, and then that's your tabletop basically. So that's where everything is. But even then, you don't really need that. You don't even have to have that. That's just more of a visual aid. But Jacka, Moderator Supreme, last Queechling standing. Official Atomic. Yeah, there's some people who do like 3 people, and if those characters die, they get replaced by the next person. It sounded interesting. You could do that, but then the only way you'd be able to is if the Dungeon Master was being particularly ruthless. Like, particularly ruthless. Because I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since COVID, and I've never had a character die. None of my characters have ever died. That's how rare it is. So, like, but that's the way that we play it. We play it very role play heavy. Like, there'll be sessions where we don't even have fighting, because it's just been like we've just been mooching around the city, like doing stuff. Do you know what I mean? So there'll be like sessions where there's not even any combat. So to do it like that, it'd have to be like old school Dungeons and Dragons, where it's a really, really difficult dungeon and it's just constant dungeons. Do you know what I mean? And for me, that kind of takes the role play out of it. That's more, do you know what I mean? It's just fight after fight after fight after fight after fight, because otherwise no one will die and no one will get a look in. Do you know what I mean? Chaka, what is your character? My character at the moment is called Balrog Mincemeat, and he's an orc fighter barbarian. And his backstory is that he was a bouncer. He was a bouncer at a pub in a town called Fandolin, and basically this gang of like criminals basically came into the town and like beat the shit out of him, and like took over the pub and were like causing shit in the town and that, and they beat the shit out of Balrog and kicked him out of the town basically. And then Balrog met up with like a group of adventurers, let's call them, which is the rest of the party, and we ended up having to come back to Fandolin, which is Balrog's hometown, and we went to a bar and found out that the gang was still at the old pub. So Balrog, obviously, I decided that I was gonna go and challenge the leader of this gang to a one-on-one fight in the pub, and if I won, then they all had to leave. And the leader of this gang was called Magnificent Tom. So I was having a fight with him, and Steve's character decided that he was just gonna use his magic and Eldritch Blast this guy while I was fighting him. So obviously that meant that the 1v1 was off, and then there was this massive brawl in the pub, like, and we're all fighting, and then we killed them all, and I beheaded I cut the guy's head off, and then we took over that pub and turned it into a proper business. So now we have a real pub, like, and the guy's skull is on a spike outside the pub, like, as a warning. Yeah, Balrog Mincemeat he's called. But yeah, he's a pisshead as well. He loves an ale, does Balrog. He's always drinking. He taught Gav's goblin character how to drink, what beer was. I also tripped up and fell into a shrine and destroyed the shrine completely by accident, because one of the other characters in our party, who's a wizard, cast Enlarge on me and turned me massive. And I was running and tripped up and fell headfirst into a shrine and completely destroyed it. My character has a magic sword that's completely made out of stone. And like once per day he can use its ability, which is like when he smashes it onto something, it causes a magic effect called tremor. Like, it's like an earthquake basically. And I used it I used it once I used it once to bring a roof down on a dragon's head to trap a dragon so we could escape because we were all getting killed. So basically what happened was we went to this town because we heard that there was a dragon there. And basically this dragon fucking came and, like, it was kicking the shit out of all of us. We were all, like, nearly dying. One of our other party members was literally, like, he ran into a house to take cover. So this dragon put its head in through the window and just breathed poison gas into the entire building, which, like, fucking dropped him immediately. So he was gonna die. So we were like, there's no way we can win this fight. We can't beat this dragon. It's like I'm like the tank basically. I'm the one that takes and deals, like, damage, and I was, like, on, like, 2 hit points left. And then our other character was about to die in this house because of all the poison gas. So while the dragon had its head in this through this window, I ran up its back, jumped in the air, and brought my sword down on the roof, like, and used my my earthquake, like, sword's ability, and it just fucking smashed the fucking roof of this building, and it all collapsed down onto this dragon, trapping it by the neck. And then the other wizard used a magic spell to lift up our friend who was dying, lift his body up, and like pulled him out of the building, and then we just fucking dusted it. We just ran. But yeah, it's fucking amazing. I love it. I fucking love it. It's so good. My character also has a crown. Has a crown that well, technically it's 2 crowns that were fashioned together by the blacksmith in the town, because I killed and beheaded 2 goblin kings and took their crowns. and then the blacksmith in our town like fashioned them together into one crown that he wears, like, and this crown like makes goblinoids like terrified of him when they see it, like when they see the crown. Because it's 2 crowns from 2 dead goblin kings. It's so good. Steve's character's a nightmare. Steve's character is a fucking nightmare. A walking nightmare. Yo, Byron, how you doing, mate? Just talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Like, Steve's character is a fucking nightmare. Called Kareem. And he's a gnome. And he's a total bastard. He's a total bastard. Like, a total bastard. Like, an absolute bastard. He killed one of our other party members. Like, he actually killed one of our party members. Like, actually killed him. Like, not on purpose, but just did. Like, and then like lied about it. was like basically acting like he hadn't. It's fucking mental. It was fucking crazy. It was fucking crazy. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. But he had another character as well. That was in a campaign we did like a couple of years ago. And his character was a gnome again, called Peaches McWiggly, right? And he was like the most villainous character I have ever seen. Ever. Like, the shit he did was fucking outrageous. He'd walk around with a string around his neck that had the testicles of things he'd killed. You know, like Dolph Lundgren in fucking Universal Soldier, where he has that string around his neck and he has ears around his neck. Well, Steve's character Peaches had that, but balls. And he fucking we found this like secret village of like really friendly mountain gnomes, right? And they took us in and they threw like a big celebration, you know, for us being there and stuff. It was like really cool. And Steve's character was a forest gnome, right? And for some weird reason, Steve's character decided that these mountain gnomes, they're looking down on me. They think I'm not. They think that forest gnomes aren't as good as mountain gnomes, right? So in the middle of this celebration, this big party that these mountain gnomes had thrown in our honor, Steve's character decides, I say Steve's character, Steve decided that he was gonna sing a song for the occasion, right? So he gets up and he starts, right? And I swear to God, this was one of the greatest things I've ever witnessed, right? And off the top of his head, he does this freestyle rap, right? And he tells the entire story of everything that we've done up until this point. And it all rhymes, and it was all off the top of his fucking head. And then the last line of it, and I can never remember what it was that he said, but the last line of it was like a threat. And as soon as he said it, like, I just looked at like the Discord video, because we're all in a Discord, and every single person in the Discord, like in the party, just went, "Oh no!" Like, and then he goes, and I pull out my my wand of magic missiles, and I point it right in the face of the leader of the mountain gnomes. Point blank range, by the way. And I unload all 12 shots right into his face, right? And fucking blasted this gnome with like, and magic missiles, like what? 3 shots each. So it was like 12 times 3. So it's like fucking what? 30. I don't even know how many it is. Fucking loads of fucking shots, all point blank range, like in this guy's face, right? 36. There you go. 36 shots of magic missile, point blank range into this poor gnome's face, who was the leader and had decided to had welcomed us and thrown us this party. Blasts him right in the face, right? And we were all just like, why have you? Game, and this fucking dragon, this massive dragon, just fucking shoots up out of the fucking bowels of this mountain, and is like, what the fuck have you just done? Like, because these gnomes are like his family, and this dragon, like, bearing in mind we're like level 5, right? This dragon's like a fucking level 20 fucking monster. And this dragon's basically like, what the fuck? So we had to like talk this dragon down into like not killing us. And this dragon was like, leave now, and never ever return. If you return, I will kill you where you stand, right? And fucking, so this dragon tells us to leave or he'll kill us. So we leave. And we're all just like, why the fuck did you just do that? Why the fuck did you just do that? And then anyway, we then meet some dwarfs, right? Who were saying that they want to get into this mountain because there's lots of jewels and gems and minerals that they can, you know, and metals that they can mine. And Steve decides that he wants to help him. Bearing in mind, this is the mountain we've just been banished from. So we end up going back, like heading back to this mountain. But we're all like, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. We're going to hide in the bushes. And Steve's like, right, well, I'll go with the dwarfs then. Walking down the street, down the road to this mountain. And then this dragon just comes out of nowhere and fucking incinerates them all. Incinerates them. Right? The dwarves are all dead. Steve's characters may as well be dead. Incinerated. And then the dragon's just like, I can see you in the bushes. Come out. And we were just like, oh no, we're all gonna die. And we were just like, please do not kill us. Please don't kill us. We're like begging for our lives with this dragon. And we're just like, we didn't want to do this. We didn't want to come back. That's why we were hiding in the bushes. And the dragon was just like, go. Like, so we picked up what was left of Steve's character and left. And then, but Steve's character did survive, but it's all fucked up now. And he's like got all like melted face, and like he's got like one arm and like a hook on his arm and like one leg, and he's all fucked up. And then because of that, his character entered into a dark, because he was dying, his character entered into a dark pact with a god, with an evil god, and became a warlock. And that was why his life was saved, because he basically sold his soul to an evil god to live. Fucking wild. Fucking wild. Yes, don't kill our friend. He's here. He's a bit special. Basically, that's what it was. But yeah, that was Steve's, one of Steve's characters, which was one of the greatest characters I've ever seen. Probably my favorite out of all the D&D campaigns we've played. Steve's character, Peaches McWiggly, is probably my favorite character, just for the sheer insanity that he would do. Like, that's just like that's like the big things that he'd do. All the rest of it was just fucking other shit all the time. Just like, just doing shit all the time, and you were just like, why? Why have you done this? We're fucked. Like, what have you done? But it's amazing though. Do you know what I mean? Just an absolute agent of chaos. Like, it's insane. Like, it's so good. But then we did another campaign called Waterdeep Heist, Dragon Heist or something. And we never did the main point of it. Like, we were just in a city, and we were in the city of Waterdeep, and basically we just ended up doing our own shit. We just fucked the main mission off. Because it was like a big sandbox thing, so we were just doing shit in the city. And I was Steve's character was this one called Galavar, and he was like the 7th son of like one of the lords of Waterdeep. So he was like from a rich family, but like his dad thought he was a dick. He thought he was a twerp and never gave him any money or anything, so he's just in the same boat as us. But because he was like from a really high society family, he'd always walk around like thinking he was just entitled to everything like all the time. It's fucking well good. And I was his faithful manservant, Carl Porridge. But yeah, that was fucking amazing. It was so good. It was so funny. But that was amazing because we were supposed to be doing like some heist. It was supposed to be like a heist story. But all we ended up doing was he decided that his family had beef with this other rich family. So we were gonna frame this family for demon worship. So that his dad would love him again. And that's what we ended up doing. We fucking snuck into their house. I had to sneak into their house because obviously he couldn't be seen to be doing it because he's Galavar. But I had to sneak into this other rich family's house and plant like demonology books in the fucking house. But I had to though. Do you know what I mean? Because I was Carl Porridge and I was Steve's faithful manservant. It was just all like, all right, my lord. Yeah, okay. Fucking. But then my character got a headband of intellect, which made him really, really clever. So I couldn't do that voice anymore and him being like dead, like simple. So now he was like this. Yes, my lord. Yes. And like Steve's character would always come over and like mid-sentence take my headband off, and then I'd have to immediately revert to no. And then he'd put it back on. I'd be like, yes. It was so good. I fucking loved it. I loved it. That was my favorite campaign, was that Waterdeep one. Even though we weren't doing the actual mission, it was just so good because it was like we hunted for a serial killer in the docks that was killing like prozzies or whatever. It was amazing. Like, hunted a serial killer. Like, it's fucking so sick. It was amazing. That is the best campaign I've ever played. Well, that's because Gav, you know Gav, who comes in the stream and that, he was our DM for those, and it was berserk because it was a whole city. Because Waterdeep's one of the big cities in Dungeons and Dragons, so it was like, as soon as he opened up that city to us, like he knew that we were just gonna just run rampant and just do whatever the fuck we wanted. Do you know what I mean? Because we were just like, there's a whole city. We'd never been in a city before in the game, in Dungeons and Dragons. So when we got there, we were just like, this is amazing. We can go anywhere and do anything. And there was just so much shit to do. It was so good. It was so good. Terror Trooper, I can't imagine you guys get any progress in the game. I'd laugh my ass off the whole time. Yeah, that's the thing. But it depends on what progress, what you class as progress. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, my current character, Balrog Mincemeat, having the pub is progress, man. We've got a business there. Do you know what I mean? We have a business. Oh yeah, that's another thing that we. So there's some weird infection in the village at the moment, and we're trying to figure out what it is. We decided that maybe we should make everyone sick, like make them throw up, and then maybe everyone will be all right. So we planned. Thank God we never actually went through with it though. We planned to have like a party, like a funeral wake, because one of our party members had died. So we were like gonna throw like a funeral wake in the village square and invite everyone, and we were like, oh, we'll you know, we've got a pub so we can supply the beer, but what we'll do is we'll put something in the beer that'll make people puke, and then everyone will like raise their glasses and do a toast to Twiggle who died, and then they'll drink the poisoned beer, and then they'll all puke at the same time, and then hopefully everyone will be all right. How that was an idea that we were all like dead set on, and we were all like, yeah, that's a good idea, I have no idea. But thankfully we found out that making them puke wouldn't. We tested it on our barmaid, Betty Swallocks, because there's a barmaid in our pub called Betty Swallocks. So we were like, right, listen, Betty, I need you to do something for me. I need you to drink this. It's gonna make you puke, but it's just an experiment. And she was like, yeah, I trust you, Balrog, no worries. So she went and took it and like puked up in the yard, and nothing happened. She was still ill from it. So like, thank God. Do you know what I mean? Thank God we tested it on old Betty, because if we hadn't, we'd have just made everyone puke, and then we'd have probably got a bad name for our pub. But we were all dead set on it. Like the whole party, not one person in the party was like, nah, this is a bad idea. But our DM was like, really? We were just like, but yeah, it makes sense though, doesn't it? It's so good. I fucking love it. Like, there's such mental shit that happens like all the time. Because what'll happen is, one of you will have an idea, and then everyone else will just start going, yeah, do you know what, that makes sense. And then the DM's always just like, and you're just like, because you're all set on it, do you know what I mean? And we were totally going to go through with it as well, until one of us, I can't remember who it was like, should we test it first? And we were like, yeah, let's test it on Betty. Betty will do it. Fucking mental. I fucking love it. Like, I swear to God. It's like the best game ever. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. But yeah, we do it every Friday. Well, when are we going away next? I can't remember when we're going away next. I think it's in after the summer, I think. Maybe September or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's great. But Dungeons and Dragons is whatever you make it. That's why it's so good. But if you prefer to learn it in real life, which is it's probably a bit easier. You do starter box sets, and they're like 20 quid. And in it, you get like a little rule book, a little campaign, a short campaign as well, which is nice. Like an easy starter campaign. So you don't have to make up your own shit, like straight from the bat, which is good if you're learning. It has some dice, it has a set of Dungeons & Dragons dice in it as well. And some character sheets. And it has some blank character sheets if you want to make your own, or it has some pre-made character sheets. And you can just change the fucking name on it if you want. Jesky, yeah, me and Jesky's fella have one somewhere we bought and just forgot about it. Dig it out and have a read through it. Because I bought the Dungeons and Dragons starter set, Mines of Fandelver. I bought that during, was it just before COVID? Or was it just after COVID? I can't remember. But I remember I was really, really ill because I had because I have cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome from smoking too much weed, basically, throughout my life, which is why I can't smoke weed now. And but at the time, I didn't know it was that. So what had happened is I'd get these huge waves of like constant vomiting and shitting, and I'd be passing in and out of consciousness, and I'd be vomiting like every 10 minutes. And this would go on for like a whole week until I had to have like fucking intravenous anti-sickness shit. There's nothing to stop it. And this like, I think this might have been the first time it ever happened. I think it was the first time it ever happened. And I was like laid up in bed for like a whole week because I was just vomiting. It was so bad. I was vomiting blood and everything. It was so bad. And I remember I just ordered the starter set off Amazon, and it came, and I was like basically like in and out of consciousness, like reading through the rule book and the campaign book, and that's how I got into Dungeons and Dragons from being ill. Can't do it in real life. Not many people live near me, and I don't know anybody besides online. Yeah, find a group online. There's loads. You can go on forums, on Reddit. There's loads of ways to find groups. Like, honestly. Like our group is like Gav and Brad I've known since school, and Steve's my best mate, and then we've got some other guys in the group that we've been playing with for like a couple of years now, so who I didn't know before we started our D&D party, and now I've got friends that I didn't know. Like, do you know what I mean? It's good. It's really good. Yes, no. It's honestly, I dealt with this for like nearly 2 years. I dealt with cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome for like nearly 2 years without a diagnosis, because the hospital that I kept going to didn't know what it was, and it would happen like every couple of months. And obviously I had no, I because they told me, the hospital told me it was gastritis. It was a dietary condition. But obviously I changed my diet and all that shit. But I carried on smoking weed because I didn't know it was that. So it kept happening. And it's like really bad. It just does not stop. Like, it does not stop. Like, the first time was the worst. Like, I actually thought I was dying. Like, genuinely. Because it just, I could not stop vomiting. And this went on for a whole week. Imagine vomiting every like 10 to 15 minutes for a week. It was insane. And they'd only ever stop if I went to hospital and they put me on a drip with anti-sickness in. And then they'd say that it was gastritis, and then, but it kept happening. And then what happened? And then, oh yeah, and then the last time it happened, Slam Queen was like, right, fuck this, I'm just taking you to the hospital. She was like, we're not waiting like around for days for this. Like, I'm just taking you to the fucking hospital. But she took me to a different hospital. Took me to the one in Manchester, in the city centre. Got there, and first thing the doctor came up and was like, do you smoke weed? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, how much? And I was like, all of it. Like, however much you think, it'll be more than that. I was like, I smoke it all day. Like, I get up and then I'm smoking weed until I go to sleep. And the guy was like, right, okay. Have a read through this leaflet for me. So he passed me this leaflet and it says cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then I'm reading through it and everything on it was exactly what was happening to me. And I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wish I'd have known this like nearly 2 years ago. And the doctor just said to me, like, he was like, you are insanely unlucky to get this. He was like, this is so rare. Like, he was like, it's such a small percentage of like cannabis users that develop this. He was like, so you're really unlucky that you've got it. He said, basically, the reason why, he said, what's happening is, in your body, he said, the THC molecules usually will do things like calm nausea. Do you know what I mean? And shit like that. That's usually what they do. He said, in your body now, they're doing the complete fucking opposite of that. And he said, the reason why the hospital that you've been going to, the one in Stockport, hasn't diagnosed you with this is because they don't know what it is. They will have never heard of this because mostly the people who go to that hospital are more like older people. He was like, whereas this is like an inner, like this is a hospital in the middle of the city. Like we have lots of young people. Do you know what I mean? We have lots of people who are at university, at college, like loads more young people. And more young people smoke weed more than old people. So we've seen it a few times. And he was like, basically, he said, you're kind of at a crossroads here. He said, at this point, he said, you can either carry on smoking weed and it will keep happening. And he said it might get to the point where it is irreversible even if you stop smoking weed. So you'll just end up having bouts of this for the rest of your life. Or he said you can stop and it'll never ever happen again. And I was like, oh well, I'll just stop then. Like, so it stopped. And it's never happened again. Like, not once. It's wild. It's the most ill I've ever felt. It's the closest to death I think I've ever felt. I think I was that first time. I think I was dying. Like if it had carried on, because I couldn't even drink water. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink because everything would just come up every 10 minutes, even when there was nothing in me. To the point where I was just vomiting blood. It was fucking mental. Like next time I do a stream with the Slam Queen, ask her about it. Like, it's insane. It was insane. I was like proper in and out of consciousness as well, because I couldn't sleep, because I'd be up, I'd be awake, vomiting or fucking shitting, even though there was nothing there. There was nothing left. I had nothing left to shit. Like, it was crazy. So I hadn't kept any water down or any food for like 7 days. And I was just vomiting everything up. So I was like majorly dehydrated. And it was just fucked. It was horrible. So I think I would have died if that had carried on. But yeah. But I started smoking weed when I was like 15. And then I stopped. When was it? Like two years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And I stopped. I was smoking it for like a good 20 years. 20 years I think I was smoking weed for. But yeah, I was just unlucky. Like, back. I had that happen to me years ago, twice. It was miserable, fucking hell. I was asking the doctors in the emergency department if I was dying, it hurt so bad. Yeah, it's fucking wild, innit? He never stopped smoking though. Really? You know. Official Atomic, do you know any forums you could send me in the Discord, Jason? No, but I'm sure I can find some. Snow, one of my best friends has it, and it took a long time to get it diagnosed as well. Yeah, it does. It's because it's so rare. And apparently, they didn't even know that it was a thing until like not that long ago, maybe like 10 12 years ago, something like that. Like it wasn't even like a known thing. Obviously it would have been happening to people, but it wasn't like a known condition. But yeah, it's like I'll be honest, fucking well miss smoking weed. Of course I do. You know what I mean? But I'm never ever going through that ever again. Ever. You know what I mean? I can't, like, I'm never ever ever going through that again. It's like the worst fucking thing I have ever experienced. Fucking nuts. And it happened loads of times as well. It'd be like every couple of months. But yeah. Yeah. To be fair, I think I am better though without smoking weed. Because I was smoking it a lot. Like it was like... So what I'd do, rather than just rolling like a big joint or whatever, like I'd roll them with like one, you know, like a normal Rizzler, like a normal cigarette. And I'd just have little ones like often throughout the day. So I'd get up in the morning, make a coffee, roll myself a little spliff, and then have that, like, you know, instead of cigarettes. So I'd just be like constantly stoned all the way through the day. And that was every day. But it's like, I've noticed that I'm a lot more lucid now. You know what I mean? I remember more things. Like I'm a lot quicker off the mark. But I do miss it. You know what I mean? Used to love getting stoned. Dates. Here's what it is though, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's one of them things. Shit happens, doesn't it? Like, there's no point. No point me crying over spilt weed, as it were. But it was brutal though. But that's how I got into Dungeons and Dragons. Was because of that. Because I was just stuck in bed constantly. And I was listening to loads of what's it called? Critical Role. I'm laying bed, like in between vomits, listening to Critical Role, and I'm like, this is fucking cool. Like, this is fucking sick. And I was like, I want to fucking play Dungeons and Dragons. And then I just went on Amazon and bought the starter box set. And then I've been playing it ever since. Yeah, it's illegal here too, Chaka. Used to have a guy. You know what I mean? Nossa, I quit forever ago for work and never really picked it back up. And now illegal in my state and I can still lose my job. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Jacka, I still miss it. I did it weekends instead of drinking. Yeah, that's what I used to do. Like, because I used to do a lot of drugs and alcohol. And Like when I stopped all that, like weed was the thing that was still there. That was, you know what I mean? Helped me not do other things. So, but now, do you know what I mean? I'm all good. Now the only problem is cigarettes. But you gotta have something, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You can't just. For me, I'm very like, I don't know. Would you call it an addictive personality? I get addicted to things and I hyper focus on things. I become like obsessed with like things. So I always have to have something. You know what I mean? Chaka, I got bad tonsillitis from it at times. Though as often it was joints with hash. Oh shit. See, like when I first started smoking weed, like solid was all you could get. That was all we could get hold of. Like over here, like back then. And then it became like really hard to get hold of solid, like hash or squidgy black or whatever you want to call it. It was like really, really rare to get hold of that. Like you'd always just end up getting buds or flower. So when someone was like, "Oh, I've got some squidgy black," you'd be like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll have that then." Like, do you know what I mean? Even though it wears nice, you just have it for a change. Nosset, glad you got yourself in order, buddy. We have you here with us now, and yeah, Sigs are ass. Yeah. Nah, I am as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not shy about, like, talking about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I got myself into a very bad place. But I also got out of it. You know what I mean? Which, as shit as it was to get into that place in the first place, like, I'm glad that I got out of it. You know what I mean? Because it was fucking bad. Real bad. But you know what I mean? Nobody's perfect, are they? Everybody's fucking human. And the shit things that happen are what make you into the person you are now. You know what I mean? It's like you have to learn from that shit. So, and with as bad as it was, like I'd never ever go back there. Like, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, cigs are ass, but cigs are the only vice that I have left. Do you know what I mean? Like, cigs are the only one. Like these, the only reason I have this is for when I'm in here. For when I'm streaming. Because Jacker will probably be able to tell you. Back in the day, when I first started streaming during COVID, how often would I fuck off for a cigarette or a joint during the stream? I'd fuck off like every 40 minutes. I'd be like, right, I'm going for a cig. Or I'm going for a joint. I've just rolled a joint. I'm going for a joint. I'd just fuck off like for 5 minutes, like go and have a cig outside. So, but these, I don't use these really outside of here. I just have these in here so that I can stay here and not have to go for a cig like every fucking 40 odd minutes. Martin, and a gravity poo. Yeah, gravity poos, man. You know what? I haven't had a gravity poo for ages. Probably because of the painkillers I'm on for my knee. I have to take cocodamol because my fucking right knee's all fucked up. It hurts. And they make you not poo, don't they? Not poo, but poo hardeners, aren't they? That's what they call them. I don't know if they call them that, but that's what I call them. The old poo hardeners. Terror Trooper, what the hell is a gravity poo? Oh, don't make me explain the gravity poo. Right, okay, so gravity poo is like when you get that like when you need a poo but you get that like feeling of like sinking in like your abdomen. And it's like everything's going down and then you're like, ooh, need a poo. Like that's a gravity poo. It's like gravity's pulling the poo down. The old gravity poo. Not had them for ages. Maybe it was the weed. Maybe it was the weed. Because I've not had one of them for ages and I used to get them all the time. No, it wasn't uncomfortable. It didn't hurt or anything. It was just like a weird like, ooh, like, you know, it felt like, you know, like when you go down a hill in a car. That's what it felt like. It felt like going over a hill in a car. Wash was away for 1 hour and this is what I come back to. Fucking gravity poo, Jesus. You know this is creme de la creme of content here, Wash. What were you expecting? Were you expecting anything less? Bait back. I just realized eventually that cigarettes were making me feel like shit and I was dreading everyone, made it easy to put them down. Yeah. I think for me, it's like, I know I want to quit cigarettes, but I also know that I don't want to quit cigarettes yet, if you know what I mean. I feel like I'll quit it when I'm ready, you know what I mean. Like I do want to, but I also know that I don't want to, if you know what I mean. It's like hard to explain. Trooper, always something new in the Slam Church. Martin, we had gravity poos every stream. Yeah, I reckon it was the weed, you know. I reckon it was the weed, because now I'm thinking about it, and I've only just come to this conclusion, is I haven't had one of those. I haven't had one of those gravity poo feelings for fucking ages, and I've not smoked weed for fucking ages. And I used to smoke weed all the time, and I used to get gravity poo feelings all the time, and now I don't. But maybe it was that. Fake back. There's still a comfort for you, is what that is. Like, finally admitting that your favourite teddy bear is finally ready for the trash. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. It's because it's the only vice that I have left. Do you know what I mean? It's the only vice that I have. Because I don't drink like I used to. Like, I rarely fucking drink, if I'm being honest. It's very rare. Like, it's few and far between. Like, it's only if I go out to a show or I meet a friend or something. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? It's like really rare. Or if I go to a party or something. And even then, I don't really like drink, not like I used to. I'd be fucking paralytic back in the day. Do you know what I mean? All the time. But I don't do that anymore. I don't do drugs anymore. I don't smoke weed anymore. Like, cigarettes is the only one left. Do you know what I mean? Just knocking them off. Like bottles off the wall. Like, flicking them off, getting rid. Yeah, smoking is a bit of a coping mechanism. It is a de-stressor. Like, you know what I mean? It's also like, for me as well, like, because obviously, like, I'm here all the time now. You know what I mean? And I spend most of my time in this room, you know, when the kids are at school, and then obviously I do streams at night. For me, like, especially during the day, whether I'm editing videos or whether I'm like recording music or whatever, it's like, it's a break from the room. You know what I mean? To go outside and sit in the garden and have a cup of coffee and a cigarette. It's like a break. if you know what I mean. I even tried, because my dad was like one of the heaviest smokers I've ever seen. My dad would smoke like between 40 and 60 a day. Like, you would never see my dad without a cigarette in his hands for like at least my whole life. I think he started smoking when he was like, I don't know, 15 or something. And then a couple of years ago, he went and got acupuncture therapy, and he's not picked a cig up since. Like, not one. So he's gone from like being the heaviest smoker I've ever seen in real life to not even picking a cig up. So I went and tried that, the exact same thing that he did, and it didn't work at all. I went and had the acupuncture. I had all the needles in and shit, and I was smoking again, like literally like a couple of hours later. I even had the things behind my ears and everything, you know, to like press, like the little stones they put in your ears that you're supposed to press when you want a cig. And I'd do that, and I'd just be like, this is annoying me. This is making me want a cig more. But it worked for my dad, who like I said, he'd smoke like 60 in a day. But it wouldn't work for me. So just hard as nails though, aren't I? Do you know what I mean? Made of steel, northern steel. Can't even needle me. Didn't even work. Chaka, a cup of coffee is also a break. Some say it's because of the way you breathe when you smoke relaxes the body. Maybe. I mean, it's probably the endorphins I get from the fucking nicotine, because it's addicting, isn't it? But I think it's all the mental stuff that comes with it as well. Like, it's especially when I'm recording music, like today, I was like, right, I'll get this vocal down. I'll get this vocal down. I'll edit it, and then I'm gonna go for a cig and a coffee. You know what I mean? It's like I'm thinking about it already as like, right, I'll do this, and then my reward for completing this is going out there and having a cig and a cup of coffee. Like, it's that. Vape bag. I wonder if you could just paint the outside of the filters with pure cap so you can to yourself. It wouldn't work, because I would literally just go. I would loophole it and just go to the shop and buy new filters. I know what I'd do. I'd know exactly what I'd do. Jessica, smoke to give me 5 minutes away from the kids. Yeah, I get that. Atomic, I just got hit with an AI generated ad. What, on here? I've never seen these ads that come up on my stream. Like, other people have said this before, like, oh, these ads. I'm like, what ads? What are these ads? What do they look like? What are they selling on my stream? Back. I don't drink but maybe a beer or two a year, and when I do have a beer, it better be a chewy IPA. I don't like IPAs. I just like lager. I'm that guy. I'm just that simple guy. I'm like the most Mancunian guy when it comes to like when it comes to drinking. I'm just like lager. Have a Stella. Thanks. Do you know what I mean? Stella's my favourite one. I love a Stella. I'll have a Stella. Stella Artois all day. That's it. That's the one. I'm a simple man. Do you know what I mean? I used to like a gin and tonic, but Then when I stopped really drinking, like, can't really be asked. Do you know what I mean? I'll have a Jim Beam dark cherry and Coke with my dad though, because he likes that. So me and him will have some of them.
Ball Crusher's a cider guy.
I used to love cider when I was young. And then oh, Nosset with a gift sub, legend. Enjoy that gift sub, Atomic. Cheers, Nosset. Appreciate that, dude. Nosset, fuck them ads. What are the ads? Like, what are they selling? Because I don't see it. And what did they do? Did they just come up on the whole screen or what? Is it like a YouTube ad?
Yeah, on here they go above the chat and it'll show an ad bar onto the side of your screen.
Oh, right, okay.
I do have ads for my merch that pop up every now and again, but I've put that there.
Because I've got to do the ads for the merch, haven't I? Do you know what I mean? Got some good t-shirts on there. But they only pop up for 5 seconds. Fake bag. If I forget to resub, I'll be violently reminded with a full screen ad that completely cuts off the stream. Really? Holy shit. Fucking hell. Nosset, yeah, it kills the stream for like 2 ads. No fucking way, that's wild. As if. So it is like YouTube then. It's exactly like YouTube. Do you know what pisses me off? Do you know what really makes my shit itch? They've started putting ads on fucking Amazon Prime and fucking Netflix. What the fuck is that about? I'm already paying for it. Why have you put ads on it? And then they're like, oh, if you want to go ad free, then you can pay some more. And I'm like, I'm already paying. This is fucking mental. Mental. The whole point of Netflix is to pay so you don't get any fucking ads. You're paying for a service. And they're like, oh yeah, but you're not paying enough anymore. So now we're putting ads on. Same on Amazon Prime. It's fucking well annoying.
Atomic, Slam King, I once got an hour ad on Twitch. That is outrageous.
That's outrageous. I remember before I bought YouTube Premium, it used to put like 45-minute ads that were like whole videos. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? I mean, you could skip them after like so many seconds, but still, I was just like, how have you got a 45-minute video as an ad? Fake bag. Every streaming service has ads now. Disney, Prime, Max, Netflix, Paramount. Pay for all of them and we get annoying fucking insurance and drug ads on everyone. That's bullshit, man. If you're paying, you shouldn't have to fucking have ads. It's bollocks. Like, the first time I saw an ad on Netflix, I thought I was tripping. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, is something gone wrong?
Fuck that.
Terror Trooper, Absinthe. Absinthe's brutal. Fuck Absinthe. I had Absinthe once in Vienna. It was horrible. Not nice. And they did it proper, like, you know, like with the hot water and the sugar and all that shit. And I was just like, this is horrific. Like, horrific.
It's brutal. It's just fucking brutal.
Can't be arsed with Absinthe. To be fair, I I don't even like being drunk anymore. Do you know what I mean? I don't like the feeling of it. It's just not. Just doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? And obviously it's like, well, when you're on tour and stuff, it's different because it's like there's drink everywhere and everyone's having a drink and all that shit. So it's like it's a different environment. But now it's like I'm at home with the missus and the kids and stuff, and it's like I don't want to be fucking drunk, man. Like, do you know what I mean? I've got no reason to be. So yeah, I can't be arsed with that shit anymore. It's just not for me. Do you know what I mean? So it's now it's like, oh, I'll have a couple of beers or whatever, but I'm not gonna get fucking hammered. Fuck that. Feel like shit the next day. I've got Loki fucking hair arsing around the house. No, thank you. I can't think of anything worse. Nosset. Ad culture is bullshit, period. So it's pay to play microtransactions. Yeah, I hate that shit in games. I hate that shit in games. I hate the whole paying thing. Like, obviously Loki loves Roblox and he plays Roblox a lot, and now he started playing Fortnite. And obviously with Fortnite, it's like, oh, there's a shop that refreshes every like day or whatever, and there's new skins that you can only get today and stuff. And Loki's like, oh, I'm gonna get this, and I'm just like, dude, like, the rinsing you here, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stop it, because it's just shit. Like, you know what I mean? I liked it when you back in the day, you used to buy a game, and not only was it finished, because it was none of this digital game shit, it was a finished product, right? And anything that was on that game, you've already got it. You know what I mean? You don't have to pay for downloadable content or anything. The game is the game, and if there's stuff that you need to unlock on it, you'd unlock it by playing the fucking game, by completing it. You know what I mean? And now it's like, oh, here's an unfinished game. But don't worry, we'll patch it throughout the year, and then in a year's time it'll be really good. Also, there's loads of other stuff on the game, but if you want that, you have to pay more for that, even though it's already there on the game. Like, it's just bullshit. It's total shit. I fucking hate it. Fucking hate it. It's so bad. Right, guys, I am gonna bounce, because I am super tired. I had a real fucking long day. But I'll be back on tomorrow at 6:30 or just after for Silent Hill 2. I must be at the end of Silent Hill 2 now, surely. Christ's sake. Like, how much longer is there? You know what I mean? I must be near the end now, surely. It's got to be at the end, like, and then we can figure out what we're going to play next. But yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. If you haven't joined our Discord, where am I at right now in Silent Hill 2? I'm in the prison. I've just done the showers. I'm in the prison. I'm not sure how much there is left. But yeah, sure, like, surely, because you can. Oh, there's still some left. Ah, right, okay, all right then. Oh, that's all right. I mean, I'm enjoying it, so. Plenty of toilets to review. Oh, sick, Atomic! You're making your D&D Beyond. Amazing, awesome. Post your character in the Discord in the Dungeons and Dragons channel when it's done. Let us know. Fake back, I think the prison's kind of after the middle a little. Ah, right, okay, alright. Alright. Chakra, I feel like you just started the game. That's because of the fucking other two fucking games I played, with fucking Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate, and it took me like half a year to complete them. Right, but I am going to bounce. If you are new to the channel, please, 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 Join our Discord. There we go. Is that? There we go. There's the link. I'll pop the link in the chat. There's the link to our Discord. Join our Discord. We have got the best community on the internet. Everybody there is so cool and so nice. So click that link, introduce yourself, make a shitload of new friends, and get involved in the chat. We got loads of different channels for all different types of hobbies, interests, whatever you like. There'll be something there. Do you know what I mean? So just click that link, join us, and become one with the Queechiverse. But I am going to bounce, guys, because I am super tired. I've had a very long day. But I'll speak to you all in the Discord. And I will see you all tomorrow. For 6:30. For Silent Hill. Toilet reviews. So that'll be nice. But again, thank you for hanging out today and tonight. Cheers for hanging out with me and Loki earlier on, and cheers for hanging out with me and just chatting shit, listening to me read a book and do stupid voices and shit. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the subs as well, the gift subs. That means the fucking world to me. So yeah, like, cheers guys. Like, you guys are the best. I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna say goodnight. So until tomorrow, my hoons, my queechlings, I love you all very much. Good night, peace and love. Mwah.